Hello and welcome back to the United Forum. This is bringing you your latest Manchester United news, transfer news updates, and your opportunity to voice your opinion now for the very first time in Sri Lanka. We're live once again and back with your latest transfer news for this week. And interestingly, there's nothing really new, nothing really much considering Manchester United. Plenty of the young news out there as well this time. But apart from that, it's quite similar. The news that has been circulating around Manchester United, the news that has been surrounded around Manchester United has been pretty much the same as well. Considering United, considering the young, things seem to be the same as well. There's not really an update on Nunez as well. Not really anything specific new on him. And also, what do you say? Considering other transfers on Julian Timber, there's no real update on Timber as well. So nothing really much on Manchester United considering transfer news this couple of days or throughout this week so far. Now, a few updates we've got are on De Jong, the price set by Barcelona on De Jong as well. An update on Donny van der Beek and also Darwin Nunez. Now I'm going to keep the show quite short tonight as well, and I do apologize for that once again. So do excuse me for this week because I have not been the fittest this week. I've not been doing quite well this week. I've been uh, a little sick the past couple of days. I'm still not 100% fit as well, so do excuse me for these few shows as well, and I'll get back to the shows with full flow starting next week, and hopefully I'll be 100% fit by then. And if you are living in Sri Lanka, do take care of yourself as well. There is an influenza which is quite fast spreading around as well. A lot of people have been affected by it, so do take good care of yourself as well, because medical treatment around Sri Lanka is also quite less, considering Sri Lanka does not have the medical equipments or the drugs right now to treat patients because of the situation around the globe and the country. So do take good care of yourselves as well. And apart from that, let's get back to the United transfer news. Now, starting off with Frankie de Jong, we've got an update on Frankie de Jong. That is that United have started negotiations on Frankie de Jong with Barcelona. Now, Barcelona need to sell Frankie de Jong, and in fact need to sell Frankie de Jong in order to get out of the financial situation they are in, as they are going through a hardship financially, especially since they did move out of that CVC deal as well. So United, in fact, Barcelona are struggling to register their players as well, especially the players who are in Barcelona already, the likes of Sergio Busquets, who has renewed his contract. So Barcelona are struggling to register these players. They also want to sign the likes of Lewandowski, and if De Jong does leave, they also want Bernardo Silva as an replacement for Frankie de Jong, which makes the deal even more complicated for Manchester United. Now, what De Jong has to say about his transfer is that he did hint out during the week that he does, in fact, he is looking forward for a move away from Barcelona due to the financial situation in Barcelona, but he needs UCL football, and in order to get him to United, it would take quite a lot of convincing. Now, United have started negotiations with Barcelona to come and agree terms with a price. As of now, the asking price from Barcelona for Frankie de Jong is 85 million. Now, this is from MUFC MPB. Frankie de Jong now accepts he is unlikely to have a future at Barcelona. United have concentrated all their efforts on getting the deal done for him for the past few days. The deal is believed to have moved close at this is from Alex Crook. United Marketeers also say United and Barcelona have yet to agree a fee for Frankie de Jong, but talks continue. They have moved closer. Other sources also say they have not agreed for a price for Frankie de Jong yet, but the asking price from Barcelona for Frankie de Jong as of now is 85 million. Now, my opinion on this is that 85 million for Frankie Young is a little too much. I would say somewhere between 65 to 70 million, I would say, is a decent price for Frankie Young, but 85 is a little too much considering how our budget is going to be this summer as well, especially because we don't have Champions League football. It'll be difficult to attract players to United. At 85 million asking price on Barcelona is a little too much for me, so I think United should negotiate with Barcelona and get this price down to at least a 65 to 70 million, and that would be a decent deal, is what I would say in my opinion. And do send in your opinions on the live chat on this as well, and do send in your thoughts, questions, anything you got United related as well. Now, United stand is also reporting this from the Daily Express, saying that Barcelona are playing hardball for around 75 billion for Frankie de Jong, while MUFC search, that is Manchester United Football Club, search for a 60 million price, is what the sources have to say, and that is from the Daily Express. The Mail also says talks continued yesterday between Manchester United and Barcelona, with an agreement on Frankie de Jong's valuation moving closer, but the player will still need to be persuaded, and this is from the Mail. So I think United and de Jong know that de Jong know that he needs to leave Barcelona due to the financial situation. Barcelona know that they need to sell de Jong in order to somewhat solve their financial situation, register a few players, or get the likes of Lewandowski and Spiriqueta, Marcus Alonso, and Bernardo Silva, whoever their transfer targets are. So I think both parties know that there needs to be a solution there. De Jong needs to know that he needs to leave. Barcelona know that they need to sell De Jong in order to make a few funds, and Manchester United at the moment seem to be the most likely position or destination for Frankie de Jong. Unfortunately, since there is no usual football, it's going to take a bit of persuading. Moving on, let's move on to Darwin Nunez. We have a few interesting updates on Darwin Nunez as well. So I'll take you to the update straight away. Now, the update on Darwin Nunez is that Darwin Nunez. Now, this is not from the most reliable of sources, but the information is that Darwin Nunez has agreed personal terms with Manchester United in order to join United. Early on, we did read that. We did get to know that the sources did come out and say that Nunez has rejected United because he is looking for UCL football. But right now, what the sources have come out and said is that Nunez has agreed personal terms with Manchester United. He is ready to accept the move to United. The final decision is between Benfica and Manchester United. Now, mind you, this is not from a reliable source, and it is just another rumor, so I'm just bringing that out to you as well. Now, Shavaz Davis says, are you speaking facts or opinions? I'm just giving out my opinions. I bring you news from sources I do have as well. I just report you a few news that I report news that comes out from sources to you, and give you my opinion on that as well. So yes, basically, if the news comes from sources, I report that to you and give you my opinion on that. Do share your opinion on that as well. And if you have got questions, anything you would like to have, anything regarding Manchester United, related to Manchester United, do send that on the live chat as well. We can share our opinions out here and maybe see if we have similarities, and see what is best for Manchester United. So moving on to Darwin Nunez, personal terms agreed is what the sources have said. Now, this is, once again, I'm telling you, it's not from the most reliable of sources, but personal terms agreed is what is being said. But in my opinion on this is that I really don't believe that personal terms are agreed. I think United are pushing for the Darwin Nunez deal, because Fabrizio Romano did say that no matter what Cristiano Ronaldo's situation at Manchester United would be, Manchester United would 100% sign a striker this transfer window. Now, the interesting thing is, this transfer window, the options we've got for strikers are quite less, and since United are also looking for a young backup striker, the only good option we seem to be having is the likes of Darwin Nunez, because the other options doesn't seem to be likely. Erling Haaland has moved on to Manchester City. Gabriel Jesus is moving on to Arsenal, and Lewandowski seems to be going to Barcelona as well. Aubameyang has moved on to Barcelona. Memphis Depay's future is not quite sure, but would you take Depay back to United? In my opinion, I wouldn't go back for Depay. Christopher Nkunku is the only realistic option I would go along with Darwin Nunez. But the way in fact, Christopher Nkunku has been tweeting out, he has been hinting out that he would like a move to PSG and to be staying in France and not at the Premier League. So unfortunate for United. I would actually love to see Nkunku at United, because I think he is a player who could play on all three sides in on all three positions on the front line, as well at right wing, at left wing, and also as a striker. He could also play as a false nine. I'm not quite, in my opinion, I wouldn't say he's an all out striker, because physically he's not as big made as a Darwin Nunez or an Edinson Cavani. He's quite small made, but his finishing is quite up there. His movement in the box is quite good as well. Aerial, is he a threat? I'm not quite sure, but when you take Darwin Nunez, you've got that aerial threat in him. Yes, his aerial stats are not that good, but he is still young, has got quite a lot of space for improvement. So you could improve that as well. The man's got that height, he's got that physicality as well. So yes, you have that advantage with Darwin Nunez, and with Christopher Nkunku, you really don't have that advantage. Now, this is from the United zone as well. The source is Miguel Delaney. Darwin Nunez has been name checked by Erik ten Hag as a top target for Manchester United, with the club prepared to go toe to toe with Liverpool for his transfer, is what the date. In fact, what beg your pardon, that Miguel Delaney has reported, and that was from the United Zone. Now, this comes from the national news taken from the United Stand. It is not inaccurate to say that Manchester United Football Club admire players like Julian Timber and Darwin Nunez, but much of the talk is being driven by agents at present. United's main focus right now is Eriksen, in fact, Frankie de Jong. De Jong seems to be the first transfer that would happen under Erik ten Hag, under his era as well. And Erik ten Hag specifically wants Frankie de Jong to be the face of Manchester United and be that anchor player of this new project. And this comes from the men as well. Now, interestingly, there is this reporter on Twitter, Reza Rahman. He has been getting a few things right, a few things wrong. I wouldn't say that he is the most reliable journalist. I would say he is more of a 30 to 35% reliable journalist, but he has got a few things right in the past. Now, what he has to say, is Manchester United are progressing talks with Benfica for Darwin Nunez. Benfica want 80 million guaranteed. Manchester United are trying to use add-ons and bonuses. Darwin has verbally agreed on personal terms and is pushing for the move. Now, my opinion is that I really don't think Nunez is pushing for the move, and I also do think that 80 million is a little too much for Darwin Nunez. I would spare that money, because if you are going 80 million for Darwin Nunez, that would mean you go for 85 million for Frankie de Jong and another 80 million for Nunez. 165 million altogether in that one transfer window is a little too much for me, in my opinion. That is why I wouldn't spend so much money on both these players. If it's a Frankie de Jong, I would go for a 60 to 70 million, and I think the perfect price for Darwin Nunez would be around 60 million. And why Benfica are demanding for an 80 million is because they've got to pay a sum of the transfer fee to Darwin Nunez's previous club. I think it's a 20% from the transfer fee, and that is why they are demanding for a high price as 80 million, especially after that Champions League form. They have that opportunity to go for a big price tag on Darwin Nunez. So that's pretty much the update for you on Darwin Nunez. Let's move on from Nunez to Christian Eriksen. Now, like you did see on the thumbnail and the wording as well, Eriksen to United on a free. Now, Christian Eriksen has been linked on a move to Manchester United on a free. Now, Eriksen seems likely to be the replacement for Juan Mata, who did leave Manchester United out of contract since his contract did expire. As a replacement for Juan Mata, Christian Eriksen seems to be linked to a move to the Theatre of Dreams. Now, mind you, Eriksen is currently at Brentford. His deal, in fact, contract expires by the end of next summer, if I'm not wrong, or somewhere between this summer and next summer. He would be a free agent by next summer, as if I'm not wrong as well. So he is related, in fact, linked to a move to United. Now, would you take Christian Eriksen to Manchester United? In my opinion, yes, I would take Christian Eriksen to Manchester United in a blink of an eye. I think he would be the perfect replacement for Juan Mata, just 27 years of age. I think a 3-year contract would do good for him, or a 2-year contract with an option to extend for 1 more year would be the perfect deal for Christian Eriksen. I think he's decent on the ball. Ever since he did come to the Premier League, he has been prolific, superb as well. He did have a contract at Inter Milan after the scenes that did happen at Denmark, and unfortunately with his health conditions he was not allowed to play in the La Liga. Brentford did give him that opportunity, and that is why Eriksen is being respectful to Brentford and would move away from Brentford this summer only if Brentford agrees for a move for Christian Eriksen, as a mark of respect for Brentford, because Brentford did give Christian Eriksen that opportunity of playing in the Premier League after what did happen. And this season has been a perfect example of the quality of Christian Eriksen throughout his career, because he has lifted that Brentford squad levels ahead. He's taken that squad levels ahead, and I think Christian Eriksen is one reason why Brentford are where they are today. I think he's been a key part. He has been a marquee man in that squad, a talisman for them as well. Now, if Eriksen does come to United, where does he play? He definitely does not play in that pivot of two midfielders, but I do think he would do a good backup for, in fact, Bruno Fernandes, and not even a backup. He might even start over Bruno Fernandes, because Bruno Fernandes has had his own problems as well. So I would love to see Eriksen being rotated along with Bruno Fernandes. You know, he would be a good option to rotate. He is 27, he would turn 28, so age and 1 out of minutes off his legs as well. So yes, a good rotation option, a good option to give Bruno Fernandes a rest as well. We've seen Bruno Fernandes play week in, week out, 90 minutes without rest, so I think it would be a good option, a quality option, in fact, to bring a quality option in depth for United as well, to bring in from the bench to cover up for Bruno Fernandes as well. That is why I would take Christian Eriksen to United, and on a free agent being next summer, I think about 30 to 40 million would do this sum for him as well. So if you go for 75 million for De Jong, 60 million for Darwin Nunez, that would be 135 million, and a 30 million, 165 million. I think that would be a perfect summer transfer for United, adding Julian Timber out there as well, who would cost for about us a minimum of 20 to 25 million as well, 185 million altogether, which I would think is a decent transfer window. Apart from that, unfortunately, very unfortunately, in fact, before I move on to that news, Dean Henderson has been linked to Newcastle United. I think this would be the perfect move for Dean Henderson, in my opinion, as well. I think Henderson, in fact, not think, but Henderson is looking for game time, and I think he would get that Newcastle. He would get that at Newcastle with Martin Dubravka and the other goalkeeper not being as up to the standards of Dean Henderson like he was at Sheffield United. I think at Newcastle, Henderson would be the #1 goalkeeper. He would get his minutes, and it would help him in his career and fight for that international place at England as well. And you never know, he might go on to win titles in 4 to 5 years as well. Newcastle do have that financial support. They are building a good team around as well. They've got the likes of Dan Burn last France, and Wyndham McTaggart. They've also got Kieran Trippier now, Bruno Guimaraes. They're also going for Lucas Paqueta, if I'm not wrong, who was Bruno Guimaraes' partner in crime at Olympique Lyon last season in Portugal, if I'm not wrong, is it? So I think Dean Henderson move to Newcastle would be perfect for him. Game time, number one goalkeeper, and you never know in the future. In about 5 years' time, they might fight for titles as well, considering the financial backup they have. Now, the bad news for Manchester United fans is that Rafael Varane is injured and has pulled out of the France squad from the Nations League. Now, France did play against Denmark, if I'm not wrong, and did lose that game 3-1. And I think it was Denmark. I can't remember who the opponents was, but 75% sure that it was Denmark. So let me have a look on that as well. So there we go, France versus yes, it was against Denmark, which France did go on to lose 2-1 with A. Corneli scoring 2 goals and Karim Benzema scoring one spectacular goal. So yes, Varane was injured during that match and now he has pulled out of the France squad for the Nations League. Bad news for Manchester United fans. Hopefully, he gets that rest and recovers before the preseason so he could have a full preseason along with Erik ten Hag. Now, the worry for Manchester United is that Rafael Varane, ever since he did sign for Manchester United, has been injury prone. Now, the fact that he's been injury prone goes and gives that options at the back of Maguire and Lindelof for Manchester United, which is quite a trouble for Manchester United, which is quite a problem because Erik ten Hag plays a high-line defense, and in order to play a high-line defense, you need quality and pacey centre backs. And one of them is Rafael Varane. And I think Rafael Varane would be the perfect partner for a guy like Julian Timber if he does play as a centre back, or Victor Lindelof. Now, if he is injury prone throughout the season, it will make us go back to Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. Will that allow Erik ten Hag to have the freedom of playing a high line defense and the football he did play at Ajax? I'm not quite sure about that, so that's a bit of a worry for United. Can United afford to go for another centre back? I think that would depend on sales as well, and I think it would help us if Eric Bailly does not leave United as well. And I hope Varane is back before the preseason. I'll update you that on our social media channel as well. Do go give us a follow us to us there if you are not following us at the United.forum. So hopefully Varane does recover before the preseason so Erik ten Hag could assess him on a full preseason. And moving on from that, captaincy United. Now this is from another source as well. Manchester United's captain interestingly will be picked next season by picked and decided by the Manchester United squad for next season is what the sources have come out and said. I think this would be the right option, and if this does happen, I think the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and David De Gea would be in favor of getting that captain's armband, and hopefully we would get to see who actually becomes United's captain by the end of this season. I think that captain's armband being changed, if changed, would be a sign saying that Harry Maguire would be starting every game as well, which would be a dream for us Manchester United fans. That's pretty much it from tonight's show, folks. Quite a little news as well. I told you there was plenty of news, but throughout the weekend has been the same news which has been circulating again and again around Frankie de Jong as well, and around Darwin Nunez, Julian Timber as well. Nothing has really progressed, and just before I wrap the show up, Fabrizio Romano did come out and tweet this out today. Now, Erik ten Hag has Donny van de Beek in his plans for next season as things stand, being told he's now expected to play a role in Manchester United team, is what Fabrizio Romano did have to say. Now, interesting, I think that's good news for us Manchester United fans. Personally, I would love to see a midfield pivot of Frankie de Jong, Donny van de Beek, and Bruno Fernandes. I think that would be the perfect midfield drive for United, and finally we would have a quality midfield which would win matches for us. So that's pretty much it from tonight's show, folks. And like I told you, considering Manchester United, it has been the same news which has been circulating around, be it De Jong and be it the talks progressing with him as well, the price tags that have been set. Julian Timber, no real update as well. The same rumors running around as well. Dean Henderson moving to Newcastle, Varane out and injured, unfortunately, as well. Eriksen being linked to United would be an interesting to see how the news turns up in next couple of days as well. And finally, the captain to be decided for Manchester United by the dressing room. So that's what we covered today as well. Pretty much it for tonight's show, folks. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I thoroughly did enjoy the trick. If you are new here, do give us a subscribe, smash a like on the video, follow us on our socials on Instagram at the United Forum. And until I see you on Friday for the next show, have a blessed week and a good night. This is the United Forum.